I'd want to zoom in to the anatomy of excellence. I'd first want to talk about head, to know and talk about what's on your mind, or what's on the mind of someone who is excellent. Number two is what's in your heart. We would want to understand what do you value as an excellent person, or what do excellent people value. And lastly, what's in your hands? What do you choose to do with your hands? Okay, let's begin with the first one, the mind. What's on your mind? The first thing that I want to talk about under this point is, do you know or are you aware where your mind goes? Earlier, it was shared na I went to Thailand, I went to India, I went to different places, sometimes to represent the Philippines, sometimes for vacation. But you know, if you stay in a place long enough, you would eventually get their accent. After when I went to India, for example, I went home like doing this all the time. Because I was just talking to everyone doing that. So I get accustomed to their ways. And when you go to, for example, in Singapore, you would eventually come home and say, la, everything with la. And like, for example, in Bangkok, diba, they would say, sawadika, like their voice. There's something that, in the way that they say things, that you will get accustomed to. Same thing, we need to be very aware of where does our mind go. Because eventually, our exposure to whatever that is will get into us. And we will get accustomed to whatever we are exposed to. Especially now that we are exposed to a lot of things. Which brings me to my next point. What does your mind consume? Similar to the body that eats healthily, parang you would say, oh, I think this person eats healthy food. It shows, right? And it's the same with our mind. Whatever you feed your mind will also show in the way you speak, will also show in the quality of the things that you say, because garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you input will be part of your output. And therefore, please be aware that you can actually control just as diet, that just as nutrition, you can watch what you feed your mind. Lastly, what does your mind produce? Sometimes, it's easy to catch what's in the person's mind by just listening to them. Because whatever is in their mind, it will come out, diba? And so, it's also easy for us to catch ourselves na parang, alam mo, mas laging negative na lang yung naririnig ko sa sarili ko. Alam mo, parang, sometimes also when you talk to someone so positive, like, what's in you? You're so happy all the time. What are your thoughts? And sometimes when you talk to someone so depressed, everything is so dark, everything is so hopeless, he's always or she is always helpless. Sometimes that's an indication, no? What's going on in your mind? So, I'd like to invite you all to actually reflect on and audit what are the things that I allow myself to linger in my mind. And know that you actually have the control and the choice of what goes in, what is allowed, what's not allowed, because you guard your own mind. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Okay. I'd like you to read this verse all together. 1, 2, 3, begin.
Whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is any
Think about these things. So this verse from Philippians 4:8 is saying, suggesting, if not commanding, that whatever is true, like sort it, have a criteria. Like whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is pure, whatever is commendable, if there is any excellence, if there is any worthy of praise, think about these things. This verse is telling us that we can describe this thought. Is it honorable? Is it excellent? Is it nice? If it is not, maybe I shouldn't think about it that much. Because it's not actually healthy for my mind. So, if you would have a criteria of the things that can get into your mind and can stay, you would be better at managing your thoughts. Clear? Okay. Also, I'd like to share one key principle. Maybe it's easier for you to remember. It says thoughts, emotions, actions. It always starts with your thought. Something in your mind, eventually you feel, when you think about, hala, there's war, right? There's war right now. Eventually you will feel scared, fearful, hopeless, I don't know. It will affect your emotions. And eventually it will affect your actions. You will no longer do this or you will do that now because it started with your thought. So always remember T principle. Whatever is in my thought will eventually reflect on the way I act or in my emotions and then eventually reflect and manifest in the way I act. Okay, are we clear with the first part? What's on your mind? Okay, now we go to the heart. What do you value? The first thing, similar to what is in your mind, is what's in your heart. Since I was college, like very recently, not so long ago, I always keep with me a journal. I always bring a journal with me because that's how I regulate my emotions. Whenever I feel something, even if it's happy, worried, confused, whatever I feel, I try to write it down and try to analyze where it's coming from. I try to understand what are the emotions that I feel and why am I feeling those. It's important to do an audit just because some emotions are like staying in your heart rent-free. And they consume you. And they consume your mind, they steal your focus, they steal your productivity, they steal your joy, they steal your energy, when you can actually eradicate them and get rid of them. And so when I journal, I feel a sense of control. Like I tell why I feel this way, and therefore I should start doing this so that I would feel this way. Things like that. So I highly recommend journaling, very therapeutic. Secondly, remove what contaminates, similar to what I just shared. Na some of it will just steal your personality, will just steal your joy and smile, and you will always be irritated throughout the day just because there is something in your heart that you cannot address. Okay? So I pray and I hope that you would be bold enough to like point what is contaminating you and be brave enough to get rid of it. Lastly, invest on what you want to multiply. Similar to finances, similar to emotions that we want to multiply, we want to invest in those. Do what makes you happy. Do what keeps you smiling. Do what keeps you compassionate and kind and authentic. Do the things that you want to multiply. If you want to see that in another person, keep doing that. Eventually, you will, infect them. And because, kindness and joy, they're contagious. So keep investing and doing the things that you want to multiply. So this is like an audit for what you value in your heart. I'd want to share this illustration or a visual, right? Of a seed that started to blossom, started to have roots, started to have leaves, started to have fruits. When we see a person, we only see their fruit. Parang this person, kind person siya. This person, excellent, good one, amazing person. But what we see are just fruits already. But what happened when we backtrack is there was a seed planted in that person that actually eventually grew. And what we want to be careful of is what are the seeds that you allow to eventually come to fruition in your life. And you will not start this after college. Actually, you've started this long ago. You already have seeds in your heart that are growing right now. But if you are not projecting oranges and apples in your life, then better be careful and be intentional on the seeds that you want to plant now. in your heart. Let's read together Proverbs 4:23. Begin. So just a powerful anchor on what I shared in the visual, that guard your heart because everything else flows from it. Are you still with me? Okay. The last one would be hands. What do you choose to do? 2 Peter 1:5. Can we read together? Start. Okay. So this verse I like because there's like a progression of like, we don't just stop at faith. Yes, we believe, but add to that belief is moral excellence. Add to your belief is your character. You want to add substance to who you are and not just faith. And on top of your character, which is your moral excellence, it won't stop there. Add knowledge. You can't just say, oh, I'm so nice, no, kasi I have faith. And also, I'm so nice, no, because I'm kind. But I can't do anything, because I'm not skilled at anything. So this verse is encouraging us to actually grow up and progress, to have faith, but also be a person with moral excellence, but also a person with knowledge. And so we will deep dive on the hands. The first one is, what do you hope to become? And when I ask this question, it's not about, oh, I want to be a CMO when I grow up. I want to run my own business. I want to be CEO. I want to be CFO. I don't know. It's not about position. It's not about reputation. But it's about what kind of person do you want to become. If you want to become someone compassionate, if you want to become someone kind, if you want to be known for such reputation, you have to plan for it. You have to be intentional about it. Number two, similar to our pattern, what we've been trying to say, is whatever is not aligned to who you want to become, be ready to get rid of them. But I've always wanted to become kind, but there is this person who always makes me so angry. Maybe it's time to get rid of this person who always triggers you, right? Or like, just be brave to assess if anything in your life, anything, anyone, any place, that do not align to who you want to become, be ready to get rid of them because you are stewarding yourself. Lastly is, what do you need to acquire? So from who you want to become, which is your goal, now, you want to look at yourself as your current status, at your current state. Okay, that's what I want to become. Say someone who's patient and someone who's courageous. Maybe that's my end goal for myself. And when I look at myself, what are the things that I lack that will not make me get there? And I have to be ready to get rid of them. But also, be ready to know what are the things that will bring you there. What do I need to acquire? What do I need to know? What do I need to understand more or practice in order that I achieve what I hope to become? Are we clear so far? Okay. And as I close, this is a photo of me when I was graduating, 2013. And I feel like it's this talk is like 17 years in the making. Because I'm talking to you where I was once, right? And if I would listen to myself now, being that, how many years old na ba ako? I don't know, 17 years ago, these are the things that I would remind myself. And I hope you would listen. Here, we are regulated, contained in one space. And sometimes it gives us the illusion that this is it. I need to be excellent in my class. I need to be the top. I need to be better than my classmate. I need to be the officer. I need to be, I just need to shine. As if this is the only place that will matter forever. But after graduation, when you go out, it won't really matter anymore. But what you have learned inside here will matter forever. And so, I hope I had been more intentional in learning how to budget when I was in college. Because I didn't know, sobrang hirap pala mag-manage ng finances after you earn. I didn't know that you will be managing also difficult people, also collaborative relationships, discipline. It's not about the subjects so much that you will need to bring with you, but it's the discipline of trying and trying kahit ayaw mo na mag-finance. Ang hirap ng finance, ang hirap ng mga subjects na to, but it's the discipline that you are instilling in yourself that even though I do not like this, I will just try harder because I gain perseverance out of it. So I hope that you will not look at this place or space as something that's, this is it. But from here, maximize what you can get, maximize how you can develop, so that when you go out, you are shining on your own. No need to tell them, I've won this, I've been here, I've done this, I've done that. But your character is shining because you've done the homework of doing the things that you're supposed to do at work, in school. Things like, sana hindi na lang nag-cheat, no? Kasi in your cheating, yung mga minimal cheating ng class, it will affect your character eventually. Minimal compromise, it will affect your character eventually. Budgeting your allowances as students, it will affect your spending eventually. So take this training ground, not just to be knowledgeable, but also to be people of character, discipline, responsibility, and above all, excellence. And so my prayer for all of you is that may you become an excellent person regardless of what you do. I do not know if you will really intend to be marketing professionals eventually. Do you want to run your own business? Will you be doing this and that? Will you be teaching? I do not know. But my hope is that you become excellent in whatever you choose to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.